Manny Pacquiao's back. He's going to be back fighting for a WBC title against Mario Barrios on July 19th in Las Vegas, Nevada. And as a Manny Pacquiao diehard fan, I just don't know how to feel about it. I feel like at this point in his career, what does Mario Barrios really do? You know, it's been finalized, everybody's talking about it, and obviously there's a date and a place already for this fight to go down, and Pacquiao's done it all already. You know, like I just said, Mario Barrios isn't really going to do anything for his legacy, and also, he's old. You know, Pacquiao's 46 now. I don't understand why he would want to come back. Actually, I do understand, because Pacquiao's like one of those guys who just wants to test himself. There's no doubt about why he's fighting Mario Barrios. It's because he could make money fighting anybody. You know, Pacquiao's a legend. He's a superstar. He's a global icon. He can make money fighting anybody and, you know, make a big event out of it. But instead, he's fighting Mario Barrios, where he's not going to make a lot of money ultimately. Like, he'll make a decent amount, but nothing that compares to what he could make in an exhibition. If he were to try to fight Conor McGregor or a UFC fighter, he could make a lot of money fighting anybody else. But instead, he's fighting Mario Barrios for a legitimate 147-pound WBC title, and you can't even say it's for the money, because why would he fight Mario Barrios? There's not a lot of money in that, as opposed to a guy like Mayweather, McGregor, you know, one of these huge exhibition matches that he could put on. He's choosing to actually challenge himself, which is honestly admirable. But at this point in his career, it's like, do you really want to take punishment at this age? I'm not saying he can't win, because honestly, Pacquiao picked a pretty good opponent, you know, in terms of, like, I think Pacquiao can beat him. I think he picked Barrios for a reason, but still, you know, Barrios beat Ugas, so this is Pacquiao's way of getting revenge and ending on a good note within the professional sport of boxing in terms of his record. Because, you know, if Barrios beat Ugas beat Pacquiao, Pacquiao beats Barrios, then it's like, all right, now I can retire. But, you know how the sport of boxing can suck you back in, and Pacquiao's one of those guys that wants to challenge himself, you know, all the time. And so if Pacquiao takes this fight, and let's say he pulls it off somehow against a younger fighter who's still active in Mario Barrios, you think Pacquiao's going to get satisfied with that? When people start bringing out other names, his team starts getting sent offers, and, you know, the money looks good, you think Pacquiao's going to turn it down? It's hard to say that he would turn that stuff down, and I just don't see it leading to anything good. But, you know, I'm going to support him no matter what, because I'm a Pacquiao fan. At the end of the day, I just don't know if it's the best idea. But, you know, Pacquiao, he's going to be back in there. I'm going to be at that fight. You know, I don't care what people say. I'm going to that fight. I'll probably be covering it anyways, but I need to be there on fight night to check that out, because it'll be very interesting to see Manny back in action, because honestly, I've never seen him live. But, you know, I feel like this is another opportunity for us to, you know, watch greatness in a time where boxing has become so, you know, so much about the money. You know, all these fighters, they just want to get paid and get out of the way, when Pacquiao was someone that would, you know, fight for legacy. And honestly, just because it's not against someone like a huge name, it's against Mario Barrios, who's still a credible, you know, opponent. He's still an active professional boxer right now, and to be fighting for a title at 147 is pretty crazy for Pacquiao. You know, about 4 years from his last professional fight against Ugas, where he didn't look that good. He already looked slow. 4 years later, he's going to be coming back against Barrios, and, you know, who knows, maybe he'll pull it off. But I'm just saying, like, if he wins and then, you know, he gets a Crawford phone call, then how does that go? You know, it's just like, where would it end? And ultimately, Pacquiao would want to take these challenges, so he has a hard time saying no, because he's one of those guys, like, if you get him back in the ring, he's going to get addicted to it again. I think he's already addicted to it. That's why he's coming out of retirement. Like, I think the retirement life just isn't for certain people. People like to feel that sense of purpose, and I think that's how Pacquiao is. And I'm sure he's getting inspired by guys like, you know, Inouye, guys like Terrence Crawford, these guys who have really exciting fights, Gervonta Davis. The list goes on and on. But, you know, Pacquiao was one of those guys who never really fought for the money. Ultimately, he had to fight to survive. That's the difference between Pacquiao and a lot of these guys. A lot of these guys came from good lives, and that's why you see them all about the money. They're all about, you know, being sheltered. But Pacquiao was doing it because he had to put food on the table at the end of the day. He was trying to get to a place where he could put his family in a good position. Like, there was no other option besides boxing for Pacquiao to get a better life. So that's the difference between, you know, guys that fight to live and guys that, you know, just fight for fun. And Pacquiao was one of those guys that really wanted to fight. He wanted to put on a show and make it a brawl and make it exciting for the fans. He wanted to give the fans their money's worth time in and time out, and I don't think it'll be any different when he comes back. It's just, a question of putting his body through, punishment, not only in the training camp, but in the ring as well. So we'll see what happens. Shout out to Pacquiao for coming back. It'll be exciting to see for sure, but I just don't know. I don't know how I feel about it, because it's just like you're a hero, you're a legend. The guy you look up to, your idol, you see him getting back to the ring at 46, but the real reality of, the sport of boxing. You can't help but say, like, if he gets cracked with something crazy, I don't know how he's going to react, because he's older now. You don't recover as well. You're not as, tough in terms of, your physical ability to take punches. So we'll see what happens. I got to go with Pacquiao by split decision. But thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. But I'll catch you guys on the next Navs boxing video. Peace.